32 videos.
Okay, iDubbbz is back with a new Content Cop video. Now, if you didn't know, iDubbbz used to be one of the biggest commentary creators. He used to have this series called Content Cop, where he would make these really well thought out videos about a certain creator, and it would be this massive event on the internet. They would all get over 10 to 20 million views, and basically everybody loved the series. The skits were hilarious. iDubbbz was respected as a smart and talented guy, and generally he would call out people that were pretty controversial and oftentimes deserved the criticism, whether it be Tanamongu or Keemstar or Leafy. But that was several years ago. Since then, iDubbbz has had a massive identity crisis, and he basically just disavowed all of his old content. He basically said that, oh, I was a bad person, I shouldn't have made those videos, and he made a video talking about it and essentially ended up losing most of his audience. And he basically did an entire 180. He became quote-unquote woke or whatever, and he transitioned his content to fit that ideology. And that brings us to today. iDubbbz has dropped a Content Cop on H3H3 Productions, someone he was actually really good friends with. If you were there like a decade ago, they did a bunch of videos in the past that were absolutely hilarious. I would say like the golden era of YouTube, but it's sad to see that they actually drifted apart. And in this video, iDubbbz essentially calls out Ethan for stuff like harassment, being a hypocrite, etc., etc. And honestly, in my opinion, both of these people have had a massive fall from grace. Both were hilarious, amazing creators, and now they're just kind of like sad train wrecks. But anyways, let's just go over this new video, see what's up, see what the internet is saying about it, starting with the description. So iDubbbz has listed a bunch of people who helped make this video, and immediately we have some of the biggest red flags I've ever seen. This is an absolute nightmare blunt rotation of dishonest people. Starting off with Hassan here, open terrorist supporter. That's a fact, by the way. Lies as easily as he breathes. Rich elite living in a $3 million mansion. Champagne socialist. We covered him in the past, laughing at an old man literally.
Wait, he lives in a $2.74 million house and claims to like socialism? It's actually insane.
Getting beaten and robbed, laughing at dead babies, saying stuff like it's okay for women to get SA'd as long as they're from rich colleges. Basically a bunch of like horrid stuff. Then we got Denims, who is just female Hassan, someone who literally put out a bounty on someone, offering 30K to her fans to go and kill them.
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both, because then it's a win-win for me. And I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore.
Dude, how the fuck? How are you not getting a call from the FBI after this shit? This is actually insane. She did it on Twitch, dude. And then Tectone calls a girl fat and gets banned. For 2 weeks. What the fuck is going on over there?
Oh my god. I might put in a police report. Yeah, this is like a felony.
Then we got Shonda Black, who also said they wanted to kill someone but then censored it.
Shonda Black says someone needs to kill Destiny.
Like, it would just be so easy to just, it will solve all of our problems. Like, we would have socialism now at this point. We would have socialism at this point if someone just went out of their way and.
Then we got.
Yeah, the whole fucking economical system will change because one person dies. What a fucking idiot, dude. How are these guys platformed? Jesus Christ.
Rogan, who is Hassan's head moderator. This is essentially just Hassan's goon squad here. And the last time we covered Frogan was her shaming Ludwig for donating $10,000 to Gaza while she was actively e-begging for donations on stream for her own stream to pay her rent. Meanwhile, contributing none of her own money to the issue.
Me, I donated $10,000, but I'm not going to promote it. Just don't say you donated $10,000 then. Keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000. Keep your little chump change. Like.
Then we got Noah.
She also called him a cracker too, which is like, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, as a white person like you call me a cracker, I really don't give a fuck. Like, that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But it is a slur. Fucking insane. Twitch, what are y'all doing, bro? Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Noah Samson, someone who's literally being sued for blatantly lying in his videos. We've covered him before as well when he was lying about another YouTuber, completely taking him out of context. One more credit that he didn't actually put here was his wife Anissa, obviously, who has called out the commentary community in the past, had this
Look at the doggy. Look at the doggy.
complete unhinged meltdown, which we've covered as well. We've pretty much had experience with pretty much all these people.
Commentary YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a
Oh shit, I thought that was a dude, not gonna lie.
normal job.
You do OnlyFans. How are you possibly gonna call out anyone about not working a real job when you sell your body online? That is irony already insane. So
Who the fuck's
regardless of
buying
who actually
that?
wins this beef, we don't care. We are the real winner. It's just a bunch of people we don't like fighting each other. But yeah, sorry for the long backstory. Let's get this started.
Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group.
What we do here is go back.
Oh, I know that. That's the tiger.
Okay, I gotta say, when I saw this intro, a wave of nostalgia definitely hit me. The skits in iDubbbz's previous Content Cops were actually pretty funny. The music is pretty iconic, and I really thought that we were gonna get something special here. But spoilers, this video is incredibly unfunny. There is no sort of like joy in it, unlike the other videos. This is a massive rant, essentially just defending his political buddies like Hassan and stuff. And if any new viewers are here, I just gotta reiterate, I am not American. I don't give a single shit about politics at all, because I know people on the internet get so obsessed with it and it completely rots their brain and turns them into sad, pathetic individuals, kind of like iCucks here and his group of cronies here. And when your entire identity surrounds that, it's
Wait,
just—
who all
it's
was
just
there?
sad. Not a political creator. I actively avoid the news. Otherwise, what am I gonna do? Just look at every depressing news in the world and start crying about that all the time? Like, I'm a goofball drama creator, all right? This is not my job, and I probably haven't done enough research to comment on those type of situations. So if you want to get those news, go to the political creators or whatever. I'm just here to call out stupid people in general using general common sense. So it starts off with Hassan taking over.
I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do, because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true.
Okay, so Hassan obviously being sarcastic here,
Yeah.
but it's not really far from the truth. Like, he did openly support terrorists, call them Luffy from One Piece.
Bro, this shit was insane, dude. He had a
Far from
Houthi
the
terrorist.
truth. Like, he did
This guy is like a known Houthi terrorist. He had him on stream and is like, haha, giggling with him like, dude, that's so sick. No ban. What?
openly support terrorists, call them Luffy from One Piece. That is like a fact, not an opinion, right? This entire video is iDubbbz calling out Ethan for harassing people, when Hassan's community and his group of gooners literally constantly harass people nonstop. So it's just the most hypocritical thing ever that iDubbbz is associating and defending these people and, you know, dancing with them, having a good time, and then calling out Ethan for the same thing. But yeah, now we have probably like the cringiest shit you will ever see.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb just telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
Yo, that bitch is scary looking.
Wake up. Wake up. Since anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet.
Guys, what the hell happened? What timeline are we actually in where I have to sit here and watch a bunch of moron streamers do Fortnite L dances? And this is supposed to be a content cop. Like, look at, like, the degradation of the quality is absolutely insane. And I feel like that quote never gets old, you know? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And that's definitely iDubbbz right now.
I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3.
I have no idea who iDubbbz is, by the way. I'd never heard of him before this, so... They all seem unhinged, if I'm being real.
It sounds very stupid even saying that. In 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan.
Nope, it's actually both of you. Both of you somehow did a complete 180 and became soy cringe puck content creators who abandoned your audience, the people who actually cared for you and supported you, and you turned into just this husk of your former selves. Like, you can actively see that the life has been drained out of them. But it's just sad to see someone fall so hard and so far and become this unfunny political shill who likes to pretend that they are better than everybody, you know?
So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's up. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers, you trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Okay, so he basically says that Hassan is very well equipped to talk about this because he's talked about it in previous years as well. What he doesn't mention is that Hassan has a reputation for taking absolutely everything out of context and lying in a borderline sociopathic way about any and every detail about a situation. In my opinion, one of the most disingenuous creators to ever exist, and his popularity just indicates like the sheer decline
Dude, poor
in general
Nick.
intelligence for a lot of people.
You can tell how fucking unsettled he is, or just feeling like, why the fuck am I being exposed to this right now? If you don't know, like, Hassan invited him over, put on some sort of terrorist propaganda music video, and told him it was a music video. It was not a music video. It was fucking straight up like, let's kill everybody. Let's kill all the Jews. Poor Nick, bro. Because if you know Nick at all, he's like probably one of the chillest guys. I want to know what the text Hassan sent was like. Yo, you just want to come over, react to some political stuff? I'll order some Chinese food or something for us. It's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then just got dragged into all this. He is not your friend, buddy.
Watching streamers. In any sane society, Hassan would be in prison a long time ago, all right? He has cryptically tweeted about killing people as well, but he continues to get away with it for, we'll see how long, you know? Karma is a way of catching up to these people. But yeah, for iDubbbz to say Hassan is equipped to talk about this after seeing how he covers any situation and twists it to fit his narrative is just completely insane to me. Then iDubbbz says he wants to be neutral, but Ethan forced his hand.
It's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome apparently, even though he looks like Millhouse and dork. Denims, by the way, was
he
the real
does
villain
look
of
like
the video.
Millhouse.
Evil, hateful.
Yo, if you don't know who Millhouse is, he's from The Simpsons. Oh my god, dude, he even has the nose. Millhouse with a beard. Oh my god, dude, that's perfect.
Like Millhouse and dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking. And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, oh no.
Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like
I mean, critically analyzing what other people say is not harassment. That's just like holding people accountable.
rekindle our friendship.
You know, I can agree with some of what iDubbbz is saying in the video, but the thing is, he comes off as such a hypocrite because all of what he's saying about Ethan applies directly to all of his buddies, including Hassan. Like, iDubbbz will say, oh my god, Ethan just goes on these harassment campaigns with these people. Meanwhile, his friends are literally threatening to kill people, putting bounties on them, dude.
Exactly.
And you're dancing with them, doing Fortnite L dances. Like, how are you this blind? It's crazy.
Creators are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
Yeah, nobody needed to take your ideology to its extreme because the people you are associating with are some of the most extreme people on the internet. What iDubbbz doesn't understand is that his audience didn't gaslight him.
Wait, what did her tweet say? Not going to do charity for Palestine because some of my chatters might be Zionists. Sorry.
What iDubbbz doesn't understand is that his audience didn't gaslight him. They literally just told you the truth, that you became this absolutely unrecognizable version of your former self. You know, before you were someone who was unafraid to speak the truth, and now you're kind of doing the exact opposite. You are cowering behind a group of people who will eat you alive the second your opinion changes. It's kind of why nobody has any sympathy for H3 either, because he made his bet with Hassan. He became co-host with Hassan, and everyone warned him that Hassan was completely crazy, a radical extremist, and then Ethan had to learn the hard way. And now he has to deal with the consequences of associating with that community, dealing with that relentless harassment. And iDubbbz is going to have to deal with the same thing the second he falls out of line.
I mean, I don't really get that, dude. Like, everyone makes mistakes, have lapses in judgment. Like, that's the thing that makes us human, is that we're able to, like, analyze your mistakes and learn from them and, you know, try to put things right. So, but that's the internet, right? They're going to give you shit for whatever they can.
Okay, so this next part needs a little backstory. Basically, people were harassing Ethan, and they called CPS on his kids, which is obviously a very messed up thing to do over an internet disagreement or whatever. And Ethan wanted people like iDubbbz to disavow this because, you know, they're friends.
If you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
Yeah. Which I'll show. Denims is actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah.
Which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with
instead.
them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people.
Here's a tweet by Think Before You Sleep. iDubbbz, I think Denims is a good person. Denims offers audience $30,000 to fans to kill a person she doesn't like, defends a child thing named Keffals, says America and the innocent civilians deserve 9/11, says it was okay
wild.
for people to call the CPS and political opponents to try and alienate them from their kids. Don't worry, the kids won't remember it. iDubbbz calling Denims a good person was wild. I checked out of this video after I heard him say 5 minutes in that Hassan viewers are politically savvy. This isn't Content Cop. This is the creator of Content Cop hanging out dirty laundry with all his rich criminal friends. It's just insane to see iDubbbz take the moral high ground, saying that he's changed for the better and he's a good person now because he doesn't say slurs, but now he's best buddies with people who literally put bounties on other people who disagree with them.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, dude, if you like actually seriously or like were serious about that and put a bounty on someone, like, dude, you're fucking insane. Like, that is antisocial behavior on the next level. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just do not get it. I don't get it. How does Twitch not fucking do something about that?
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately.
Yeah, this would make sense if both parties were disagreeing over a minor issue or something, but this is way more extreme. Your friends want to take away your other friend's children. How do you not realize why Ethan would be mad at this? That is completely unforgivable. It's not...
Yeah, especially because, like, dude, the kids have nothing to fucking do with this. The most childish shit to do something like that. And I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, if it was a false report, like, they should go to jail for that.
Not like guilt by association, it's more like, how the hell are you okay with this, you know? It's the same reason Trash Taste got a bunch of backlash for hanging out with Hassan and stuff, because you can't ignore the stuff he's done. It is completely radical extremism. It's like if you have Diddy on your podcast and be like, well, we're just mutual friends.
This is what I'm talking about, this aggression
Yeah.
that you're putting out into the world. What the f do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
It happens, Ethan. It's completely
Oh, it
normal for someone to
happens.
call CPS on someone else's kids unjustifiably over a disagreement or difference in opinion. It happens, Ethan. Just deal with it. I don't know why you're complaining. It's just harassment on the internet that transitions into real life and people showing up at your door taking your kids away from you. It happens. I don't know why he's mad, guys. I think he shaved off half his brain with that haircut, dude.
Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with, it doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
This man is telling someone to touch grass. Buddy, you have an OnlyFans wife. Buddy, you spent months on a video collaborating with political extremists like Hassan that 99% of the world disagree with, other than the minority of loud, screeching banshees.
I'll say this. I don't disagree with girls doing OnlyFans. In my opinion, they're just taking advantage of an opportunity they have. But yeah, I would never date or marry an OnlyFans chick. And that's just my personal preference.
In America, not a single soul agrees with his ideology. You don't need to touch grass. You need a year-long vacation in a forest. It was after this, iDubbbz basically slips and admits that he's making this video because of Hassan and his friends.
There was a way to approach this to say yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
Okay, this is exactly what I predicted. Remember last time when we talked about Hassan? He said that if he wanted to...
Bro, harassment is such an overused term these days. Criticizing someone for having a terrorist on their stream, and obviously just a shit-faced backwards approach to life and everything you do is not harassment, bro. It's not. You fucking children.
He could make a video on Ethan and destroy him after the content nuke, right? And I said, there's no way Hassan could ever make a good video rebuttal because he doesn't make videos. He sits on his ass on stream, eating food, reacting to other people's content. He doesn't even know how to do proper research or proper commentary. So I knew he would take some sort of a shortcut, and he basically asked iDubbbz, who has actually done plenty of research in the past, to go and make a video on Ethan. But the unfortunate thing is, iDubbbz is completely brain dead now. So it just did not work out. It's just unlucky. It's a pathetic attempt at sort of combating the content nuke, but it just didn't work at all. Then iDubbbz talks about why he never disavowed any of these people or gave his opinion about it.
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a
Yeah, let me tell you the real reason iDubbbz didn't say anything. If he ever commented positively about Ethan or anything like that, he would be relentlessly harassed by Denims, by Hassan, by Frogan, by his so-called friends, because the people aren't really your friends. They're only your friends for as long as you support their extremist views. The second you try to change that just
and help them kind of blast it out to people.
a little bit, they will turn on you just like they did to Ethan. As I said, politics rots your brain. If you want to get involved, just look at the surface level and don't pour your entire life into it. Otherwise, you're going to become unhinged and be completely depressed like iDubbbz.
He thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit and we're going to call you out.
Yeah, your friends are literally relentlessly harassing him, calling CPS on his kids, never-ending threats, and you're talking about them being bullied. You guys are actively bullying him and being like, don't bully me. It's like insane levels of hypocrisy. Now, there is one part where I actually completely agree with iDubbbz.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until,
That was spot on. Ethan unironically did this to himself. Everyone warned him about this. Everyone warned him his sound was completely crazy. His community was toxic, but he didn't listen. And now he's fostered a community where he continuously gets harassed. You basically reap what you sow. And this is sad.
Dude, I think, like, having constant conversations with someone who doesn't have the same viewpoints as you that's not a bad thing. Like, bro, that's how, like, you have to listen to other people's opinions because it'll expand your view on the way you see things, right? Someone else could offer a different angle that you never thought of before. Like, I don't think that's anything to look down on him for.
Sadly going to happen to iDubbbz as well. He just doesn't know it.
I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops.
Does this guy hear himself? This has got to be satire. Ethan is a bad person, guys. Let me be fair and not mention how bad literally everyone else I credited in the description is. Anyways, next part, Ian tries to pretend he's a good guy and tells people to say nice things about Ethan, the same people who wanted his kids taken away.
I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
H3 used to be the sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start
That's a underhand jab.
creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better, and I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
Dude, if any of these people ever complimented me, I would wonder what I did wrong. These people should all hate your guts, and that...
I'm gonna be real, but none of those even really seemed genuine. That's just kind of the vibe I got, but I mean, it's obviously like a 5-7 second clip.
That's when you know you...
I mean, especially Frogan's, though. Like, she didn't mean any of that.
We're completely right in the situation. Anyways, it ends off in the most pathetic way possible. iDubbbz just starts crying.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. Like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
Yeah, let's start crying on camera. That'll get people on your side. Also, I love how he pretends to have empathy for Ethan. He's like, oh my god, it must be really hard for you, Ethan. Here's a 1-hour Content Cop video making your life 10 times harder and multiplying the hate 10 times more. Isn't this just gaslighting? Like, I really care about you while stabbing you in the back. If 2016 iDubbbz saw what he would become, he would literally toaster bath. I'm just saying. Anyways, here's what people are saying. Since the last Content Cop, I've gotten 2 degrees and 3 children. I became addicted to drugs, got clean, got extremely fit in the gym, got a job, got promoted, relapsed, lost everything, and got clean again. All I'm getting from this so far is that Joji is the one who truly won. True. Bro, I remember when these guys were eating dumpster chicken together, and now we got this. How the times change. I have no one I can talk to about this, which is why I'm making this video. Basically, nobody's actually talking about any of the points in the video because people actually just don't care. They're both train wrecks here. Anyways, I gotta go eat my chicken and rice, guys.
Chicken and rice sounds damn good.